chill.
It's coming though.
Yeah, it's coming. It has to come because, I mean, Hawaii is one of the top states that consume and smoke cannabis. And
Straight up.
that's one of the major things I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at, inflation here, nuts. I see
Cost of goods.
I see the rail. I left here,
Yeah.
and the rail was starting. I left here about 10 years ago, and the rail was starting. Bro, I came back. It's only going to Pearl Ridge. Like, what the heck?
I wrote it.
I
was like, let me see what the fuss is about. I wrote it. Yeah, great if you live in Ho'opili and you go to Pearl Ridge.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's supposed to be a whole island thing.
Or if you want to go so old me. If you want to go to Don Quixote and Waipahu, if you want to go to Pearl Highlands, maybe, very limited use case scenarios that I think justify the overall time, money, resources. I get it. I think in 25, 30 years, when my kids have kids type of thing, their kids are just going to be like, yeah, this is great. Because they're growing up with it. But us, we still have that bitter taste of going through like, no, wait, what? More money? Like, we have that experience, recency bias. And we can actually see it just, this is the last stop is actually Halava, the stadium.
Oh, that's another thing that broke my heart. I heard the stadium is tearing down.
At least it's still there.
But
I don't think you can just go in it. They had like an event, like a farewell stadium.
Bummed about that big. Played so much games in there. Saw so much games in there. And then I hear this. But it's like, it's all these small things that add up, that makes me want to reform and help do that movement to Hawaii.
Again, I think the 4 is strong. And we're biased because we're both participate since way back. We're legacy users, whatever. Now you're in it, though. I like to see that you're in it. I like that perspective. More people are leaning towards this acceptance. But I think the biggest no in the room is overall drug addiction happening in our nation. And that conversation of how drugs are, just blanket statement, drugs are just rampant in not just Hawaii, Pasadena, Colorado, Michigan, not just literally everywhere, right?
Yep.
So many people are dying. So many families are getting messed up because of drugs, the drug problem, especially young kids, right? So I think that's a huge hurdle that we collectively are looking to get through. And people use the medical route. They use the lesser evil route, right? Because, hey, instead of oxys, try this. Like, it's still a substance that I have to consume, okay? But overall, when you just walk around the streets, and I say this from my experience in Japan, where this is the same as a needle with freaking heroin in it or something, right? From the public eye. It's, if it's not alcohol or nicotine, no. You're a bad person. You're going to jail. Your status. It's just, again, like I said, the risk-benefit for me wasn't in my favor. So I look at how a perception of something can be so different based on where you're from, right? Now, let's take perception and just walking. If you just walk, I don't know if you went town or, you're kind of reacclimating to home and stuff, right? Just walk around anywhere, like over here. Just go on Kapiolani. Right? Just walk from Kapiolani, like from Ward-ish area all the way down to the convention center. Or just go to the convention center, Kapiolani, and just wait there and watch for like an hour. The perception, right, is you see a lot of people who are obviously on substance abuse.
Yes.
And so if you yourself are not hip to it and understand, like, maybe perhaps what kind of, like, I'm pretty sure we could see someone and be like, that person is drunk. That person just did some bumps in the bathroom. That person smoked a joint. Like, we there's a little bit more of that, right?
Yep.
But not everyone has that. So I think, like, this kind of stuff is getting lumped in together with, like, kind of like Japan, like everything. I don't know what that person's on, but if you're over here telling me to legalize this, I'm associating that with, you're just more people, more zombies like that on the street. I don't obviously feel that way, but I hear that sentiment and say, oh, you're behind something. You want more drugs in our country? Like, if my auntie, she's not, by the way, but if, for example, an auntie said that to you, like, how would you respond?
I mean, it's everywhere you go. When you bring up cannabis and anywhere, you know, especially not in Michigan or Colorado or California, first thing is like, you know, why are you bringing this in our state? What is this going to do for us? It's going to get people more on drugs. It's going to get people more, and it's absolutely not right because I look at it as starts from the ground. It's a plant, you know. You take care of it, you grow it. Now, what you do from there is totally up to you. You know, you smoke it. So anything you smoke is not good for your lungs, regardless, right? But at the same time, it's the same as alcoholism. You know, you you drink so much, you can die from alcohol. You know, but it's knowing your limits. It's knowing what you're putting in your body. It's all informational. Said. I'm definitely not saying alcohol is something you should do because you shouldn't. But what cannabis can do is help the people with alcoholism. You know, it's hard. I've seen people struggle trying to quit alcohol. You know, and I don't necessarily like to say filter it with something, you know, that'll still get you high, but it's a come down. It's a not requiring yourself to have more alcohol, making that stages of getting sober a little easier, you know, to the point where you can say, I don't need edibles anymore. And that's fine, you know, you can do it that way. But it's all about collective information, understanding the plant, understanding the benefits from it, understanding, you know, what can this do for your state? What can that taxation from every product that the state makes, how can that help your state? And I try to give people information that, well, okay, you know, Hawaii, they're bringing in cannabis, right? First and foremost, get an agency because you're always going to have people backdooring stuff. You're always going to have people doing illegal stuff. They take care of that. That cuts off our police from worrying about cannabis issues now. They can focus on the real issues, you know, all the more severe issues. And you have the rules in place. Next thing is handing out, you know, X amount of license. That's one of the major things that happened in Michigan was they saw what Colorado did and was like Oprah. Oh, you get a license, you get a license, you get a license, you get a license. Now you got 500 stores with licensing and you're competing with all of them. And it's kind of insane. You know what I mean? So you got to stand out from the group. And that's why I like, you know, I was telling everyone I like my products quality with quantity. But you look at the problems that Hawaii has, you know, a lot of the issues is the water pipes, the sewer lines, you know, traffic, you know, roads, inflation. Like, bro, that's crazy. $52 for 2 plate lunches.
I hear you.
You know when they say the good times is gone, bro? I'm serious. So that I take personal because I miss home. I love home. Home will always be what I remember it to be, you know. Going right before school, we go to L&L, get the breakfast special when the thing was $3.95 on plate lunch, and now it's different. And so I like to help both sides understand the story. You know, you're always gonna have the old heads in Congress that this is a federal drug, no matter what, until the entire United States passes it, right? Then you got the consumers that are like, bring cannabis here. It can help us. It can help individuals, but it can also help the state. You know, you don't, and I hate to say this because you know, the black market always gonna be the black market, but I won't ever know what's the next hottest trend unless I go ask a couple friends that, you know, oh, what you heard so far? Oh, bro, rosin. Rosin is going to be the next big thing. Sure enough, 6 months later, rosin hits the market. Next big thing. Oh, what's going to be the next big thing? Pectin. Okay, look into pectin. Everyone doing pectin now. So you got to kind of play both sides, but you also got to be true to yourself, you know? So my thing is the black market will slow down. You know, because obviously that's the whole part of taxation is you want that money going to the state. Now, from what I've been hearing lately about Hawaii, you know, and I love my state, but there's a lot of corruption going on. And you know, you just want to make sure that taxation goes to the island and not to people that, you know what I'm saying, don't necessarily have anything to do with that.
It's weird how there's two truths. Hawaii is literally an island in the middle of the ocean. warm, communal, family. Everyone in the world knows the word ohana.
Mm-hmm.
Family. There's literal closeness, like we're all, for us, especially on Oahu, right? 1,000,000 people on this island. There's physical distance close, but there's also like, we call everybody auntie, uncle.
Yep.
That familial bond close to. So all these close, warm truths of Hawaii, the people in Hawaii. And then there's that corruption part.
Yep.
That what comes with the goodness here, this truth of people being so close, that also means there's envelopes being slipped.
Oh, yeah.
That also means someone is in this position who didn't, it's because of who they know.
Yep.
So-and-so, oh, this is so-and-so, and you connect the lineage. It's a beautiful thing. But it also makes this other truth. And so, especially now you've been around, you come back, you bring everything that every place you went, person you talked to, all that, you bring that back with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're back, and now you see this side of the truth too. I hate to say it, but it feels like we're divided.
Yes.
It feels like these are divisive mindsets to hold.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to question the people who are proliferating these kind of narratives that then just separate us more and more and more, because that's a whole nother fucking podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the rail, for example, if you look at how that sort of fractured this tight-knit community on an island,
Right.
very opinionated, just like it's election year coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Talk elections with any, boom, you can separate the room,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's talk about identity. What do I identify as?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that now we're separating the room again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about cannabis, maybe. You know what I mean?
Separate.
Because then now we're talking about opiates. Now we're talking about San Francisco. Now we're talking about ODs, suicide. We're talking about mental health. It's like, what conversations don't split the room anymore when we're already so close, though. We're
Right.
on this island with its community. And so it's this weird thing for me that I'm going through too, where I'm like, there's these two truths about Hawaii. We're so close, but we're also so divided.
Mm-hmm.
And why not, easy for us to say, but like, I feel like your echo chamber, you've heard the term, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
social media, you get in these echo chambers.
Mm-hmm.
The algorithm feeds you things that they know you've looked at, that you probably look at again, and it just creates this vicious feedback cycle. It's almost like we have those echo chambers, though, in like our relationships too.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's such that maybe everybody I talk to right here is already in my echo chamber, and I have to make an effort to go and like have other conversations with people. Like, this person, I don't care if the room divided, we might be on different sides, but I want to be here and talk and have this kind of, because we can't really. I think when you said like information in sales, it's also information in relationships too. Like,
Yes.
the more information I have, just makes our relationship better.
Oh, yeah.
I can understand you even if you are such that this is the same as any other drug. Pablo Escobar. I mean, Godfather. So, but you know, I was like, okay, I see. But like, I want that art almost, if you will, of conversing
Mm-hmm.
or non-confrontational communication. Because we're talking about divisive stuff for a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are maybe already tuned out. Maybe for now we got targets. That's the thing too. You can't speak up today without creating an enemy
Yes.
or a victim or a hater, right? So a lot of heady stuff that I just spilled out. But I think you're, especially for you, in that visiting home stage, but also that striving for that next thing phase, right?
Yes.
You're being drawn in both directions,
Mm-hmm.
but you know it's coming back together. Could be in a different state of Hawaii, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a completely different product, completely different lane that you've made. What can we look forward to 2024?
I mean, just based on the information and all the input that's been happening in Hawaii, I mean, March of next year is going to be huge for you guys, because that's when Attorney General Lopez's bill that she came out with, it's going to have a vote on it.